Have you ever wondered what truly defines us as humans? What forces have shaped our behaviors, relationships, and extraordinary achievements? In this summary, we'll embark on a fascinating journey through the evolution of genes and memes, the biological and cultural forces that have crafted the story of humanity. From a scientific lens, we are animals, mammals to be precise, belonging to the ape family, with chimpanzees as our distant relatives. While some of these ideas may challenge what you believe, an open mind will unlock deeper truths about our existence and evolution. You'll discover how natural selection and cultural evolution have influenced not just our biology, but also the ways we interact, think, and innovate. Together, we'll explore why men and women differ in certain ways, why humans are inherently kind and cooperative, especially with their families, and what drives our insatiable curiosity to achieve extraordinary feats, like launching rockets into space or unraveling the mysteries of quantum physics. Imagine an alien scientist observing us from afar. To them, we would be a species like no other, remarkably unique, yet profoundly puzzling. Through this summary, we'll uncover the secrets of human nature and the future of our species, answering questions about who we are and where we might be headed. By the end, you'll have gained a deeper appreciation for what makes us human and the incredible journey that brought us here. So, are you ready to dive into the story of an ape that understood the universe? Let's begin. In 1838, Charles Darwin offered an extraordinary answer to one of humanity's most fundamental questions. Why are we here? His groundbreaking idea proposed that life exists not because of an intelligent designer, but because of evolution. Darwin's theory of evolution explains that species, including humans, are not static, but constantly changing over time. All life on Earth shares a common ancestor, with each species evolving from earlier forms in an unbroken lineage that began billions of years ago. For instance, chimpanzees and bonobos diverged from a common ancestor 1,000,000 years ago, while humans, chimpanzees, and bonobos share an ancestor from about 7,000,000 years ago. Tracing back further, all life on Earth originates from a basic, self-replicating molecule that existed around 4 billion years ago. Natural selection is the driving force of evolution. Organisms that adapt well to their environment survive and reproduce, passing on their genes. Lions with sharp teeth were better hunters, while fast-running deer could evade predators. Over generations, traits like sharper teeth or faster legs became more common. These incremental changes, accumulated over time, lead to the emergence of new species. Natural selection may appear intentional, as though each organism were designed for a purpose. However, traits like feathers, scales, or fur are simply the result of countless advantageous adaptations over millions of years. While humans use selective breeding to shape plants and animals, in nature, no deliberate planning is involved. Evolution works blindly, selecting traits that enhance survival and reproduction. But what does this mean for humans? Are we just machines created to survive and reproduce? Darwin's theory and subsequent ideas about evolution have explored various hypotheses about why organisms exist and how genes are selected. Some early theories suggested that evolution works for the survival of species or the fitness of individuals. However, these hypotheses fall short because survival alone isn't enough. Reproduction is key. Without passing on genes, even the fittest individual would leave no legacy in the gene pool. The most accurate explanation, known as the gene's eye view of evolution, focuses on genes themselves. Evolutionary biologist Richard Dawkins famously called this the selfish gene theory. According to this view, natural selection doesn't prioritize the well-being of individuals or species, but instead ensures the survival and replication of genes. Genes are the true units of evolution, and their ultimate goal is to outcompete alternative versions of themselves in the gene pool. Genes achieve this by promoting traits that enhance survival and reproduction, like sharp claws, vibrant feathers, or protective shells. Sometimes, genes also encourage altruism, behaviors that benefit others with similar genetic material. For example, a mammalian mother produces milk to ensure the survival of her offspring, thereby increasing the chances of her genes being passed on. Even seemingly selfless acts, like a bee sacrificing itself to protect its colony, can be explained through this genetic lens. Ultimately, organisms are vehicles for their genes. Every trait, adaptation, and behavior serves the purpose of helping genes survive and replicate. This understanding reveals the fundamental reason for our existence. We are here because our genes use us as tools to ensure their continuation. While philosophers and religious thinkers have long pondered the meaning of life, evolution offers a straightforward answer. Our existence is shaped by the relentless drive of our selfish genes. The SeXX, or XY animal. This chapter explores the differences between genders, delving into the biological and evolutionary reasons behind them. While many social scientists and students in modern universities believe that gender distinctions are largely a product of societal norms, evolutionary biologists offer a different perspective. They study gender differences across all species and attribute them to genes and natural selection rather than societal conditioning. Studies of animals have revealed several key differences between males and females driven by evolutionary pressures. For instance, males in many species are larger than females, especially among vertebrates. Male gorillas, for example, are nearly twice the size of females, while male elephants, seals, and bulls can be up to 4 times larger than their female counterparts. Additionally, males often have a higher sex drive and a greater desire for multiple partners. Examples include male fur seals attempting to mate with king penguins, or even inanimate objects resembling females. Females, on the other hand, are more selective when choosing mates. In many species, males compete to impress females through displays or resources, while females often reject unsuitable suitors. Male animals frequently develop natural ornaments, such as the vibrant tails of peacocks, elaborate songs or dances, to attract females. In some cases, males even pay for the opportunity to mate, such as hanging flies, offering a juicy insect as a gift to potential partners. Males are generally more aggressive and engage in physical competition to secure mates, resources, or territory. Examples include kangaroos kicking their rivals, deer locking antlers, or seals and bulls clashing in battles. These behaviors are a direct result of the evolutionary drive to reproduce and pass on genes. Females, however, often invest more energy and resources in reproduction. For instance, female mammals endure pregnancy, nurse their young, and provide the majority of child care. This higher investment is why males of many species tend to compete for multiple mates, while females are more selective. Humans, while mammals, differ in significant ways from other species. First, the gender differences in humans are much smaller compared to animals like gorillas. Second, both men and women compete for long-term partners, with both genders being choosy about their mates. Third, unlike in most animals, humans of both genders develop natural ornaments during puberty, such as broader shoulders in men or an hourglass figure in women. The need for extensive child care in humans due to the large size of our brains also shapes our gender dynamics. Human infants are born helpless and require enormous care to grow into independent adults. This has led to men evolving to invest more in their offspring, spending time nurturing and protecting them. Parental investment explains why gender differences in humans are less pronounced than in many other species. Humans fall between species with significant gender distinctions, like peacocks, and those with minimal differences, like gibbons. As a result, we should not impose rigid roles on men or women based on gender. Instead, we should allow individuals to thrive as they are, celebrating the unique ways in which both genders contribute to society and family. The altruistic animal? Charles Darwin found the concept of altruism challenging to understand. Why would humans and other animals sacrifice themselves for others? What drives acts of kindness in the natural world? Altruism refers to helping others selflessly, without any hidden motives. Years later, evolutionary biologists concluded that altruism isn't about happiness, but reproductive success. The saying, "blood is thicker than water," holds true. Family and kinship play a central role in human and animal behavior. People are more altruistic toward their immediate family members, especially those with whom they share more genetic material. This principle is the foundation of the kin selection theory proposed by evolutionary biologist William D. Hamilton. Genes, being inherently selfish, aim to survive and replicate by increasing their presence in the gene pool. They achieve this not only by enhancing the survival of the organism they inhabit, but also by promoting altruistic behavior toward relatives who share similar genes. This is why parents, children, and siblings often receive greater care and sacrifices than more distant relatives or strangers. Hamilton introduced the concept of the coefficient of relatedness, R, which quantifies the genetic connection between individuals. For example, parents and children, as well as siblings, have an R value of 0.5, meaning they share 50% of their genes. Grandparents and grandchildren have an R value of 0.25, while first cousins have an R value of 0.125. The closer the genetic relationship, the greater the likelihood of altruistic behavior. Hamilton also developed a rule, expressed as BR greater than C, where B represents the benefit to the recipient, C is the cost to the giver, and R is the degree of relatedness. For altruism to evolve, the cost to the giver must be outweighed by the reproductive benefits to the recipient, especially if the recipient shares a high degree of genetic similarity with the giver. This subconscious calculation drives much of altruistic behavior. For example, adult birds often help raise the chicks of their siblings, ensuring the survival of shared genes. In species like ground squirrels, vervet monkeys, and prairie dogs, individuals give alarm calls to warn others of predators, even though doing so increases their risk of being attacked. Such acts are more frequent when close relatives are nearby. Interestingly, animals are less likely to harm their kin than strangers. Female wolf spiders, for instance, are less likely to eat their own offspring compared to unrelated young. Even though animals cannot speak, they can recognize kin through cues like shared upbringing or physical resemblance, a process called phenotype matching. Humans also exhibit strong kin selection behaviors. Parents invest significant resources in their children, while grandparents often provide care for free, unlike paid babysitters. Hamilton's rule applies to humans as well. as seen in scenarios where people are more likely to donate a kidney to a close relative than a distant cousin or friend. However, humans are less altruistic toward non-kin, which is why crimes like domestic violence and murder are more likely to occur between spouses or unrelated individuals than between close relatives. But what about kindness toward strangers? Evolutionary biologist Robert Trivers explained this through the reciprocal altruism theory. Helping others isn't purely selfless, but often involves long-term exchanges. For example, organism A might help organism B today with the expectation that B will return the favor in the future. However, this system works better in humans than in most animals due to the risk of cheating. Natural selection equipped humans with emotions to combat cheating. We feel anger when others take more than they give, motivating us to punish or avoid them. Conversely, we experience gratitude when someone helps us, which encourages us to return the favor. These emotions reinforce reciprocal altruism and create lasting bonds of trust. Over centuries, humans have survived by forming cooperative groups and punishing those who betray trust. While humans are not perfect angels, we are far from selfish monsters. Instead, we exist somewhere in between, with the capacity for both selfishness and genuine altruism. The cultural animal. A meme is a unit of culture, an idea passed from one individual to another. The concept of memes was introduced by Richard Dawkins, while many associate memes with viral internet images. In a broader sense, anything cultural qualifies as a meme. Language, religion, arts, science, and music are all examples of memes. Previously, we discussed how genes are selfish, focusing solely on their survival and replication in the gene pool. Similarly, memes are selfish, aiming to replicate and persist within culture. Natural selection applies not only to genes, but also to memes. Memes evolve by adapting to cultural environments, often shaping the behaviors, minds, and even bodies of their hosts. Animals, too, exhibit forms of culture. In the 1960s, primatologist Jane Goodall observed chimpanzees using sticks to extract termites from mounds, a behavior learned by observing others. Researchers later identified 39 distinct memes among chimpanzees, such as using leaves as tissues or greeting with high fives. Songbirds learned unique local songs by mimicking their neighbors, creating regional dialects. Similarly, whales develop shared hunting techniques and social patterns passed within their groups. However, humans are uniquely advanced in their cultural evolution. Unlike chimpanzees, we build rockets, sequence genomes, and manipulate atoms with tools like the Hadron Collider. These achievements are possible not just because of our large brains, but also due to cumulative culture, the ability to collect, improve, and pass knowledge across generations. Cumulative culture allows humans to save time and build upon past discoveries. We don't need to reinvent the wheel or rediscover calculus because thinkers like Isaac Newton and Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz did it for us. Instead, we learn from their work, using books or the internet to create further advancements. This cultural inheritance liberates us from the limits of any single human brain, enabling us to achieve far more collectively than individually. For example, Isaac Newton was a genius, but he couldn't understand relativity or space-time warps because he lived before Albert Einstein. Einstein, in turn, built upon Newton's work to develop the theory of relativity. Today, cumulative culture allows us to learn these ideas in mere hours, which took centuries to develop. Memes, as units of culture, evolve through natural selection. However, they are not necessarily beneficial to the humans or groups hosting them. Instead, memes evolve to ensure their own survival, influencing human bodies and minds in the process. This interplay between genes and memes is called gene-meme coevolution. A striking example is lactose tolerance. All mammals become lactose intolerant after infancy, as their bodies stop producing lactase, the enzyme needed to digest lactose in milk. However, around 8,000 years ago, humans domesticated animals like cows, goats, and camels, and began consuming milk regularly. Over time, a genetic mutation enabled some humans to continue producing lactase into adulthood. This mutation spread alongside the cultural practice of drinking milk, illustrating how genes and memes co-evolved. Similarly, human hands evolved to use increasingly complex tools. Over generations, our ancestors crafted stone tools, needles, wheels, and musical instruments, driving the evolution of more dexterous hands. Cooking with fire is another example. Our ancestors' use of fire softened meat, reducing the need for large, sharp teeth and altering the shape of our jaws. Cultural evolution also shaped our minds. Language, for instance, began as simple proto-languages consisting of grunts and gestures. Early humans who mastered proto-language were better at organizing hunts, sharing techniques, and building alliances, giving them a survival advantage. Over time, proto-language evolved into complex languages, and humans developed the innate ability to learn and use them. This gene-meme coevolution explains why young children can easily acquire the language spoken around them. Art, music, and humor are also products of gene-meme coevolution. Initially, these activities were cultural products, but they became advantageous traits. Those skilled in art, music, or humor were more attractive as mates or companions, leading to greater reproductive success. Over time, human brains evolved to engage in these activities more effectively. While culture brings immense benefits, it also introduces risks. For example, humans have created tools for survival, like houses and boats, but also weapons of destruction, like bombs. Cultural evolution outpaces biological evolution, meaning we may struggle to manage the tools we create. Technology has also impacted human biology. Tools like glasses and microscopes allow people with poor eyesight to survive and thrive, but this reliance on technology could reduce the prevalence of genes for sharp vision over time. Similarly, humans have weaker muscles compared to our primate relatives because we depend on tools for tasks our ancestors performed physically. Our increasing reliance on technology highlights a key principle of evolution: use it or lose it. As tools continue to shape our habits and biology, our dependence on them grows. Culture, while a powerful force, comes with both profound advantages and challenges. And now, we've reached the conclusion of this journey. Let's reflect on everything we've learned about human nature, evolution, and culture. We began with Charles Darwin's groundbreaking theory of evolution, understanding how natural selection favors genes that replicate themselves most effectively. Traits like fur, feathers, and sharp teeth exist to help organisms survive, reproduce, and pass their genetic material to the next generation. We then explored the unique nature of humans as sexual beings. While there are gender differences, they are far less pronounced than in species like peacocks or gorillas. This is because human offspring, with their large brains and extended dependence, require the nurturing care of both parents to thrive. Next, we examined humanity's altruistic side. We are capable of great kindness, often directed toward those with whom we share the most genetic material, like parents, children, and siblings. At the same time, our altruism is often calculated, balancing the cost of helping against the benefits received by others. This deep-rooted instinct reflects the influence of our selfish genes, working to ensure their survival through cooperative strategies. We also delved into what makes humans truly unique, our culture. We are vehicles not just for genes, but also for memes, ideas that replicate and evolve within societies. These memes, from language to art, music, and humor, drive cumulative culture, allowing humans to build upon the knowledge of previous generations. This ability has made us smarter and more skilled, enabling us to achieve extraordinary things that no individual could accomplish alone. The coevolution of genes and culture has shaped both our biology and our behavior. From lactose tolerance and refined hands to smaller teeth and the development of language, the interplay between genes and memes has continuously redefined what it means to be human. However, our cultural advancements have also brought risks, from environmental damage to powerful weapons that outpace our ability to manage them responsibly. Understanding human nature is no small feat. Our conflicting strategies, driven by the needs of both genes and memes, reflect the complexity of our existence. And as we look toward the future, many questions remain. Will we build colonies in space or harness genetic engineering to transcend our biological limitations? Or will we succumb to the forces of our own creation and become the architects of our species' end? The answers lie in our hands. Humans possess the unparalleled ability to shape the earth and all life upon it. Whether we use this power for good or ill is a choice only we can make. In the face of such responsibility, we must ask ourselves, what will an ape that understood the universe choose to do?